fascinating one over the last few decades, hasn't it? We've seen the three strikes and your in-laws in the US put hundreds of people, thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands, in jail for possessing small amounts of it. And now, over the last 5 or 10 years, we're seeing state after state completely deregulate or at least decriminalise marijuana to the point where it is a legal product as long as you're over 21. Certain states, such as Oregon, for instance, are really reaping the benefits of that, they say. They don't have huge sales tax, but they reap the benefits of the tax on cannabis products, for instance. In Australia, we are doing research into medicinal cannabis products. And now it seems the push to legalise recreational marijuana is gaining a bit of momentum as well. The Greens suggest that we should be legalising recreational marijuana in Australia. And now they've been joined by the Liberal Democrats. And Senator David Leyonhjelm joins us now here at 97.3 ABC Illawarra. Good morning.
Good morning, Nick.
What's been your position as far as recreational marijuana is concerned for quite some time?
Yes, so the Greens have joined us. We haven't joined the Greens, just to set the record straight.
Well, okay, we had the leader of the Greens, and you've joined in the support, but that's why I mentioned you've held this position for quite a while, haven't you?
Yes, we have. That's right. So our position has always been, whatever you think of marijuana, whether you approve or disapprove, at the end of the day, it's an adult decision. It's a decision for adults to make whether or not they consume it, same as they should have that right to decide whether they smoke tobacco or whether they drink alcohol. It's not necessarily good for you, and in an ideal world, you might choose not to consume them. But it's not the government's business to protect you from yourself and to compel you to make decisions that are always good for you, unless it's to protect other people as well. So we've taken the view. We've had a policy on cannabis now for, it must be 5 to 10 years now of completely legalised, no restrictions whatsoever.
Is there a line that you would draw about which substances you would regulate and which substances you would make legal?
Yes, there are. Our criteria are if it's more serious, more dangerous, more addictive than alcohol or nicotine.
Yes.
Then we would the regulatory scale, I suppose, would be proportionate to that. Anything that's less dangerous, less hazardous, less addictive than alcohol or nicotine would be proportionately less regulated. And cannabis, it's not innocuous, it's not innocent, and we do know that it has adverse effects, particularly on young consumers. It's less of a risk than alcohol and nicotine. Therefore, it doesn't justify the heavy-handed regulatory approach. So we would completely deregulate cannabis. But other drugs, some of them are highly addictive, quite dangerous, have very bad effects on people who are borderline with mental illness, and ice in particular falls into that category. Our view is to treat them as medical problems, not as a legal problem, not a criminal problem. So if you get caught with quantities of drugs, any drug, doesn't matter what it is, you don't get bundled off to jail. You get bundled off to a medical facility of some description, and they look to see whether you've got a problem or not. And if you do have a problem, they deal with it. And everyone says, "Oh, the sky will fall if you do that." Well, the sky didn't fall in Portugal. Drug consumption didn't go up. They spend a lot less money on law enforcement. They do spend more money on medical facilities, but overall, taxpayers are better off.
Okay, so your line is about alcohol. If it's about the same sort of addictive propensity and harm, then there's no reason to be criminalising it.
Correct. Yes, that's right. Locking people up for having recreational use of something like cannabis, when we have a complete open slather pretty much on alcohol, apart from protecting young people, of course, and when we're having adverse effects on other people, so driving.
I get that. Well, driving was my next question about how we handle that. I mean, do we have the sophisticated enough tools to deal with people who are driving using cannabis, for instance, if it was legalised? Because I understand the problem is not so much catching people when they're completely affected, it's people several days later, because many of the tests will show it in your system, but you are totally unaffected.
That's a very good point. You make a very good point there. That is a weakness in our science, if you like, in relation to these roadside testing things. So you can smoke a joint today and still test positive in 2 days' time, and then you've got a problem if you have a roadside drug test. The police will still say that that's illegal, and of course, as you said, you're not affected. Your driving is not affected, and yet you'll still be in trouble. So yeah, that is an issue, and we do need to fix that.
All right, David Leyonhjelm, good to talk to you. Thanks very much.
My pleasure.
David Leyonhjelm from the Liberal Democrats.